Hi there, I'm Izzy Lazarovich, a licensed real estate broker here in Israel. For those of you who don't know me, part of my client focus is working with foreign buyers, Olim, and potential Olim looking to buy an investment property or their first home in Israel. Part of the purchase process may involve transferring funds from foreign accounts into Israel to complete the transaction. In today's presentation, you're going to be hearing more about international money transfer from my guest today, Naomi Feltham, Senior Partnerships Manager with Clear Currency. Welcome, Naomi.
Hi, thank you.
Please just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what Clear Currency does. And I'm sure our clients would love to hear more.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. So, as Izzy mentioned, my name is Naomi Feltham, and I look after the partnerships desk here at Clear Currency. We are headquartered in London and focus on helping individual clients and businesses with their international money transfers. So, I have been working in the foreign exchange market for almost 7 years and have a really in depth knowledge about how to help clients move their money and a real focus on Israel. So, as a business, we understand some of the pain points that clients have when moving money overseas, especially when you're moving to a country which isn't necessarily your native language. So, how we help is through the entire process of transferring funds either from the US, the UK, throughout Europe and Australia and New Zealand. And we can make the process really slick and smooth for you and obviously save you lots of money.
That's great. So a lot of times clients have options. The clients that I'm talking about today have either still kept accounts in the US where because of current currency considerations, the dollar may be stronger than the shekel or any other currency that they're worried about. And when it comes time for a transaction like buying a home or an investment property, they want to move large amounts of money. Today, at least when they go online and look for money transfer businesses, entities, you get everyone from one-man shows to companies like ClickCurrency who've got a very strategic process. Tell our clients what the benefits of using you as an international payments provider are compared to, say, either their local bank or the mom and pop shops out there.
Yep, completely. Thank you. So, yeah, there are multiple reasons why using a provider like Clear is much more favorable than using your bank. So, the first reason would definitely be favorable rates that you receive in comparison to your bank. Obviously with your bank, when you book in the transfer, you never quite know exactly the amount that they're charging you and the spread that they're getting, and also the sending and receiving charges of the transfer. But whereas with us, you will know exactly how much you're booking in, exactly how much you're receiving, and you also won't get charged any sending and receiving fees. So that's really, really important when transferring money, because if you're buying a property, for example, for 2 million shekel, you need to know exactly to the pound or to the dollar how much money you need to send overseas. And so with a provider like us, we'll be able to give you that exact information and tell you the charges in ahead of time. Secondly, you will receive an account manager when using Clear Currency. Now, this isn't a robot, it's a physical person who is your point of contact throughout the entire process. And they are on hand to discuss your situation with you via phone or an email. So they'll be on hand to provide any rates, any market movements, any updates, and they'll also be the person that initiates the transfer. Now,
So I apologize. So when they have a phone number on their account information, they're actually going to get answered by a live person.
exactly, and it'll be the same person every time. So when you register with us, you will get assigned a dedicated account manager. For example, it could be Izzy, for example, and every time you need to book in a transfer, that person is your port of call. All of the notes will be on the system on your account, so no one, everybody will know what's going on. You won't have to repeat yourself over and over again. And if you've got any questions or you need to contact them, then you can get hold of them via email or phone at any point. So you'll have the same person every time.
That's great. So uh, I have clients that sometimes are more middle-aged and older, and they've been banking at like Citibank or Chase in the United States for many years, and their pre preconditioned idea is that if the bank issues the money transfer directly to Israel, it's safe. They know their banker over there. How would you respond to people who ask, well, how safe is the process with clear currency, for example?
Completely. And we get this question all the time. And so we wouldn't be in business and doing what we're doing if we weren't completely safe and secure. We are fully regulated by the FCA, which is also known as the Financial Conduct Authority. And this means that we are governed by the same body as the banks. So we need to do the same checks on all of our clients. We need to keep all of our funds in segregated client bank accounts, and we need to make sure that we are keeping track of everything. So for example, when you transfer money from the US, for example, or your funds will sit in a client segregated account, which means that it never touches our business accounts. And then when we receive the funds in US dollars, we will inform you and then send on the shekels to its destination. And we also keep all of our clients updated in real time. So as soon as you send the money from your account in the US to our account in dollars, we will inform you as soon as the funds arrive. And again, we will inform you when we send the shekels out. So you're not at the mercy of the market for one. And also for two, you get peace of mind that you know exactly where your money is all the time. Obviously, it can be quite daunting when you're moving from your local bank or your, you know, lifetime bank to using a third party. But in terms of the cost effective savings and just the security and the safety, we are up there with the best. And obviously we do have to provide all of our audits and due diligence through the same bodies as the bank. So everything is completely safe and secure.
Okay. Share with my audience how many offices or locations or countries that you have offices in.
Yeah, so we only have physical offices in two countries, but we deal with 38 currencies. So we obviously offer currencies in the US, throughout Asia, on Australia and New Zealand, all throughout Europe, and then obviously we're headquartered in London, and we have an office in Dublin in Ireland, which is where our European offices ran out of. So yeah, although we don't have physical presence globally, we do offer a variety of currencies, and we offer multiple currency accounts. So just because we're not based in Australia doesn't mean that, or the US doesn't mean that you can't transfer funds there. We're on hand to help, and you know we work at hours flexible to all of our clients. So you'll be able to move money even when you know the US or the UK, for example, is closed.
Great. So I'm gonna give you an example because this actually happened to a client of mine, and at the time I didn't know you, so they went in a different direction, but it was a little challenging at most. The client was buying a 4 million shekel apartment and was working with someone who had recommended a local person in Israel. It was a person who was obviously properly licensed and bonded, but it was a kind of a one-man show, as I call them. And there was an interaction. They set up the relationship, and let's just say that January 10th is the day they met, but the contract was now starting to be in play, and they had 3 weeks to complete the contract and ship over 20%. So they were looking for recommendations. They'd gotten a friend to recommend this person, and basically the person said, "Okay, so here's how the process works. You're going to send me over the 20% in the next few days. I'm going to hold it in my account, and I don't know what the rate's going to be, and I'll let you know when it's ready to be transferred." Um, they were shook up a little bit with this uneasiness and uncertainty, and that's when I started looking to see if I can find a better referral for my clients, which is how we met. So taking that example, if that person had reached out to you, how would it have gone different?
Completely. So in terms of the actual holding of the funds and sending 20% without knowing the rate, that's can be quite daunting for clients, obviously, because this could be your life savings on the line that you're transferring. And when you're at the mercy of the market, it can cost you quite considerable. So, as you say, for example, they were sending 4 million shekel. If they were to send 20% to ours, we would agree the rate with them before the funds arrived. We would lock in that rate for them. And then when the funds were then sent on to the destination, they would be clear of what the market rate was. And then for the remaining amount, we can obviously work with them on a day-to-day basis. So as you say, it could be a couple of weeks before the remaining amount is due. And by that point, the market might drop 2 or 3%. So we would be in touch with them, letting them know what's happening. We could book in some of those funds and just hold them on account. So what that would mean is if you were to send, say, 1 million shekel, we would actually do the conversion for you on behalf of today's market, but we would just hold the shekels for you until you're ready to then send it on to its destination. Okay. So you've basically agreed the rate today, but you're not quite sending the funds out just yet. So that's something that we can really help with, and something that you will never get from your bank or maybe even other providers. We give you that peace of mind to know that you've guaranteed the best possible rate for you and for your property purchase. And also it goes the other way. So if you're buying a 4 million purchase and you know that the market's starting to decline and go against you, we can start to inform you and say, look, the market is going against you here. We would recommend at least booking in some of the money to get the benefit of the rate. You might not be buying for 6 months from now, but at least you know you've got funds in shekel waiting to go to its destination. So we would do all of that process for you. in terms of the actual onboarding and the registration side, we are one of the slickest in the industry. So we would begin by registering all of our clients as a customer. Now, this isn't opening a bank account, but it's simply verifying your details and within our systems so that we can complete the transaction for you. So you would do this online or over the phone with myself, and it basically just takes a few minutes. We ask for your name and address and some basic details about what you're looking at transferring. When you're then verified, you would then get access to your account manager, who then walks you through that step-by-step process. So how much money are you looking at moving? And that's where that conversation would come into play about, I've got 20% to do tomorrow, and then the remaining 80% in 2 weeks' time. And then once you're happy with the amount, we would agree the rate for you over the phone. We'd book in the deal. You would receive an email confirming the amount of currency that you've sold and purchased. And we would then, as soon as the funds arrive, we would then send on the money to its destination. The one thing that is really important to know is that we do all of our due diligence in-house, which means that we verify the client as an individual, we check the source of funds, we check that the money is from a legitimate source, and we check that it's going to the right destination. That's something that's key for clients, because when the money then lands in Israel, they're not asked anything else further by their bank, because obviously we're regulated. We've already done those checks in-house beforehand, and then the money is then free to use. So many times I've been contacted by clients who've said, I've used my bank, I've sent the money 2 weeks ago and it's held up because XYZ, and they can't get hold of their bank, and they say, can you help? By that point, it's too late, unfortunately, for us to help. But if they'd have come to us beforehand, we would have done all the due diligence checks in-house before, made sure that the money is going to the right place, and then we can then send it on to its destination. And we will then send it on to your own bank account. It can go on to a lawyer, it can go to the seller, or if you're, sending money to friends or family members, for example, and you need to send it on to a third party, we can also do that for you as well. We'll just check all the documentation before the money leaves its origin.
That's great. So once it's on your side, you're communicating with the bank or the other end of the transaction for the real estate deal.
Exactly. So we would provide all the documentation from our end to make sure that the money has come from a legitimate source, and that it's going to Israel, and it's going to who it's saying, is coming from who it says it's coming from.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Now, what I'm going to do is at the end of this meeting is I'm going to place your contact information so that after we say goodbye, they'll have on the screen your contact information, and that'll be the best way to reach out to you.
Definitely, 100%. So people can reach out via email or WhatsApp, and just, there's no obligation to use us. People are more than happy to get in touch with me and just get a better understanding of what we do and how we help. We don't charge you to just have a conversation. The only time that there would be, the contract process is actually when you book in the deal. So there's no cost to just have a conversation with me.
Great. And I'm sure you'll re-explain the process again.
Exactly.
No, that's amazing. Well, listen, I want to thank you for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
It's been very informative. And for everyone out there who's got more questions, I'm going to shortly post Naomi's contact information. And before we go, Naomi, in a few seconds or less, tell everyone why you think Clearcurrency is the proper way to go.
Definitely. So for us, we offer a real boutique and hand-holding process. We know how frustrating it can be when moving overseas, and moving money is probably the last thing that you even think about. So we're here to make the process as smooth for you as possible. There's no pressure to ever use us or feel that you're obliged. We're just here to make the process smooth and easy as possible, and just give you a real ease of moving money. Moving overseas can be daunting as it is, especially with Israel and some of the language barriers people have. So we're here to just help and talk you through the process as simply as possible.
Well, that's great. Naomi, thank you so much for your time. And
no problem. Thank you.
look forward to referring to you clients. The ones that have used you love you, so I'm very happy. And for everyone out there, good luck until our next video. Take care.